Welcome back to a special Pick 6 edition of the HelliePod with MJD, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Going to run through 6 games we feel pretty confident about, starting with the Patriots and Seattle. MJD, a matchup of the two oldest coaches in the NFL. Pete Carroll, 69, Bill Belichick, 68. The Patriots, with Cam at quarterback, were efficient. They ran the ball well, particularly Cam, 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns, an entirely different looking offense as we expected with Cam at quarterback as opposed to Tom Brady. However, they are in Seattle. Tough place to play. Seattle 15-1 at home in the last 10 years, and boy did Russell cook with 322 yards against the Falcons.
Yeah, I truly believe that the Seahawks are on a mission. They're on a mission to do some great things this year. They're a really scary team, especially letting Russ kind of take over that 2-minute rule and throw the ball a little bit more earlier than they normally do. I'm going to take the Seahawks, and I'll tell you why. I think the Patriots are still learning each other, still trying to figure things out. Yeah, you beat the Dolphins, that happens. But to now travel to the Northwest and go against Russell and company is going to be a tough feat. I think this is one that the Patriots are going to kind of lose, and then they'll bounce back and get back on track.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to win this one too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, 24-20. My score in that one. Ravens-Texans. What more can you say about Lamar? I mean, he has been stupid good. 27 touchdown passes, 1 interception in his last 8 games. He was dropping dimes to Hollywood Brown. He's been spectacular.
Everybody, yeah. I think this is less about the Ravens, more about the Texans. That DeAndre Hopkins trade, it really showed up. It really showed up. They couldn't put up points. They couldn't get the ball. They couldn't move the ball against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. To me, you know, Deshaun Watson, you're asking him to do a lot. You're asking him to do a lot, and hopefully they can get guys going and get up to speed. But to me, this Baltimore Ravens offense and defense, they're just too much. And special teams, they're finding ways to impact the game as well. It's not going to be close to me.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close either. Ravens going to win big in this one. Falcons, Cowboys, kind of a sneaky big matchup between teams coming in 0-1. Yeah. Teams that start the season 0-2 in the NFL only make the playoffs 12% of the time. Cowboys lose to the Rams. I know you said Dak played well, which he did. He was pressured a ton. He was pressured, I think, 19 different times on dropbacks, at least half of those coming from Aaron Donald. But he loses his tight end, Blake Jarwin. Leighton Vander Esch, broken collarbone, out 6 to 8 weeks. You know, in Atlanta, they got rustled in that one. To me, this is an interesting game primarily because I think there's going to be a lot of points. There's a lot of great wide receivers playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think this is the Alabama receiver game.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. I mean, all these guys. But I just have a feeling that the Cowboys bounce back. Ezekiel Elliott was lights out. And Todd actually played well for the Falcons, Todd Gurley, but Ezekiel Elliott impacted that game, both in the running game and the passing game. And if he starts catching the ball out of the backfield, that's going to open up everything for those guys down the field. And Dak is really good, man. Like he doesn't get enough credit for what he's able to do. I mean, he threw some passes with Aaron Donald hanging on top of him or like literally hitting him in the chest while he's throwing it, and they're still completing them. So I just think the Cowboys just have too much. I think there's just going to be too much overall the Cowboys have on offense for them to lose this one.
I think that we saw what Matt Ryan did trying to come back last week, throwing for over 400 yards. I think he's going to get those 3 receivers involved again. I think Gurley is going to have just enough juice for the first half of the season to make that offense dangerous, and then I think he's going to run out of steam because that knee's going to become an issue. I'm picking the Falcons 28-25 in an upset. Vikings and Colts, a couple of 0-1 teams. Minnesota got Aaron Rodgers.
No question.
The Colts upset by the Jags. Phillip Rivers, 2 interceptions.
Duval.
There you go.
All right.
He loves those Jags.
There we go.
But to me, this is the Jonathan Taylor game. Stepping in for the injured Marlon Mack. I know Nyheim Hines got a lot of touches as well. Both of those guys had 15 touches in week 1. But Jonathan Taylor had 6,100 yards in 3 seasons at Wisconsin. Dude's legit, man.
Yeah, we're going to see. I truly believe when you talk about Wisconsin backs that you have to give them some time. I think Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, you got to give them some time to get adjusted. Melvin Gordon ended up being a really good back in this league, but his first couple of years he was struggling. We'll see what Jonathan Taylor can do because he's running behind the best offensive line in the game, so hopefully it works out for him. I personally believe that the Minnesota Vikings did what they weren't supposed to do. They tried to get into a throwing match with Aaron Rodgers. That's not what you do. You turn around, you hand the ball off as much as you can.
From the running back. From the running back.
Well, that's Gary Kubiak. That's what he does. Like, he's supposed to run the ball. And so I think they get back to what Gary wants to do, running the ball, getting back in rhythm, making sure Kirk Cousins, he's a rhythm quarterback. He's not just a gunslinger. So you got to get him into rhythm. I have the Vikings in this one. And the reason being is Phillip Rivers turns the ball over too much, and then I think the Vikings get back to running the ball. If they do that, it'll be a better game.
I think defensively, the Vikings, without Danielle Hunter, we're going to continue to struggle. Two young cornerbacks in Holton Hill and Mike Hughes. They gave up 522 yards. I know it was Aaron Rodgers, a little different.
Phillip Rivers threw picks to rookies, so it doesn't matter what your cornerbacks are. He's still going to give you opportunity to throw the ball to him. That's what he does.
Phillip Rivers, 0-5 in his career against Mike Zimmer, dating back to Zimmer's days with the Cincinnati Bengals. That being said, I'm picking the Colts 27-24. I just expect them to bounce back. I think they're a good football team.
Skull.
All right, there you go. You got the Vikings. Giants 0-1, Bears 1-0. New York lost to Pittsburgh. The Bears escape with a win against Detroit after DeAndre Swift dropped that ball in the end zone.
It's a lot of pressure on you, man, when you're out there and you got to, lock it in. He was probably trying to celebrate or something.
It was a good comeback by the Bears. They were down 17. Your guy, Mitch Trubisky, had 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes. But Allen Robinson is rocking the boat. Social media, you can't even tell what team he plays for. You look at his Instagram, he has Jags photos on there, but nothing about the Bears.
Two things are going to happen when it comes to that. Either he's going to galvanize the locker room. We're going to come together, pay AR, which I'm seeing all over Twitter right now by the Bears players, or he's going to split it up, man. He's going to burn it down. Like, it's one of the two. Either we're going to all be in on this thing, like, hey, we need to get this dude the ball, we need to pay him.
Or locker room divided.
And with all that being said, the Giants' offensive line is still bad, and I'm going to pick the Bears in this one. I don't think that the Giants didn't do enough to help Saquon and Daniel Jones on that offensive line. They have the receivers on the outside. I love what Sterling Shepard was able to do. Darius Slayton. I love what those guys are doing. You probably get Golden Tate back here pretty soon. But that offensive line, if he doesn't have time, man, it becomes an issue. And then you can't have Evan Ingram blocking defensive ends. You can't do that.
Well, and it's not just about the time for Daniel Jones, who's turned the ball over more in 2 years than anybody besides Jameis Winston. It's about Saquon. Saquon was hit at or behind the line of scrimmage on 11 of 15 carries. He had less than 30 yards in the game. I agree. I think the Bears are going to win this one. My score is 20-16. The Giants have a lot of work to do, and I don't know that you can fix that patchwork offensive line right now. It could be a season. It will be a season-long issue.
Yeah, it will be, no question.
All right, Monday Night Football. Saints 1-0. Raiders 1-0. Raiders beat Carolina on the road. Saints down the Bucs. I feel like the Raiders have a little juice. Josh Jacobs over 120 scrimmage yards. I think Henry Ruggs gives them that ability to take the top off the defense, something they didn't have before. I know the Saints are the Saints, but if Michael Thomas doesn't play, to me, I'm going to go upset pick Raiders.
Wow, that's big. I just feel like, first of all, I love the Raiders. I love what they're doing. I just don't think they have enough yet to compete with the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are maybe the most talented team in the NFL. I mean, they have stars at every position.
I mean, the NFC. I wouldn't say the NFL.
No,
NFC.
In the NFL, I wrote an article about it on NFL.com.
Did you
I want
write
to say
the
that
article?
I did write it. I want to say they were either 1 or 2. And if you look at their roster, they have Pro Bowlers on offensive line, running back, quarterback, receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. Defensively, they have Pro Bowlers on the D-line, linebackers, and in their secondary.
Every level.
They have stars everywhere, and that is what's going to help them continue to get better because they can lock some guys up if they need to, and they can take guys away. And we saw them bounce. They struggled early in that Buccaneers game, then they kind of got rolling, and they put up points quickly. And so that's what you're going to have to do. I just don't know if the Raiders can score 30 points again against this New Orleans Saints defense.
You know what I love? I love when MJD gives his picks and gets feisty.
No, it's not a fight because it hurts me because I want to pick the Raiders, but I told this whole year I'm going with my mind and not my heart.
That's smart.
That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, Pick 6, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Thanks, buddy.
No problem.